Hello, wonderful people. This is Bernard from BasicsGuru. Welcome back once again to our Google Sheet tutorials. Today, we're going to have a nice time. We are going to dive into the realm of custom number formats in Google Sheets. So let's get started. First up, let's explore the power of custom number formats. By default, Google Sheets applies a standard number format to your data. But what if you want to display numbers in a specific way? With custom number formats, you have the full control over how numbers are displayed. For example, you can format numbers as currency, as percentages, or even add custom symbols and text, whichever way you want to do it. You can even have emojis, you can have arrows, you can change colors, whichever way you want to do to your numbers. It could be a million numbers, but then with just a few clicks, you can change the outlook of all your numbers. So to understand how custom number formatting works, you should understand these four categories. To understand the positive, negative, zero, text. These are the various categories of values you would always want to edit. And actually, these are the values we enter into our spreadsheet. So let me show you. If you want to go to the custom formatting, right? Let's say we want to go to custom number formatting. Let's assume we have these numbers here. We have some numbers here, 4, 7. We want to go to custom. You select the cell, the range of cells, and then you move here to format, and then you come to number, then you scroll down to custom number format. You click on it and it opens for you all the various ways you can customize the appearance of your numbers, right? So we have some preset customization already. You would look through to see if what you want to do can be found here, so you don't waste time entering your own format. If it's not here, then yes, you are free to create it anyhow you want it. Okay, so I want to show you the positive, negative, zero, how the order is. When you come here, I'll be separating them with semicolons. So you see here positive, negative. What semicolon says is when you enter the semicolon, you are simply saying, if it is this, you do this. If it is also that, you do that. And if it is also this, you do that. So if it's positive, right, we will give what condition we want it to do. If it is negative, what we would want it to do. Then the next one, if your entry is 0, what do you want it to do? Let me add a semicolon again. If your entry is a text, what do you want it to do? So basically, this is how custom number formats is categorized. Now, if we understand this categorization, then we can start applying our percentages. If we want percentage to be applied throughout, we want to have a particular currency, whether that the dollar sign or the yen or whichever currency, right? And then we can also have separators. Maybe you will have a number like a million or billion written with no commas, right? With custom number formats, you can be able to introduce your comma. That is your separators in the thousands as you want it. We can also do decimals. Maybe you want the entries to have a uniform number of decimal places. Maybe you just want to limit it to decimals of 3, you want to increase it to decimals of 5, whichever way. Once we have understood the categorization of the kind of data we enter, we can be applying some of all these. I mean, there is so much we can do. So let's just do some basic formatting with a toolbar and see how it goes. Let's look at this table right here. Is indicating the sales of some items, and this is the profit margin. So quantities are here in hundreds and one in thousands. The sales are here. I can't even read it. 789877777. Whether it's in, I can, unless I bring commas. 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is like 79 million. This is like 1 2 3. This is like 900,000. You know, it's difficult. That's why formatting comes in, right? So that we can be able to make sense of whatever we would have typed. Sometimes whoever is typing may hastily want to just enter the figures and therefore will not necessarily put in the commas or separators. So here we want to see the we will do formatting so that we can be able to see the thousands right here where we will have a comma, you know. Here we want to see the currency in dollars. Some of them are easy to do because you have them on the toolbar here. The others, we may have to go through the custom formatting and be able to do them. So here we want to see the dollar applied throughout because it's in monetary terms. So what you have to do is you select the range of cells you want to apply, and when you come to the quick toolbar up here, you can see the dollar sign, right? Click on that, format as currency, dollar. Great, now we see the dollar signs, and now it tells us clearly this is 78,987,777. This is what it is, 900,000, 54 million, 3 million. Now it's very easy to read, right? Let's go to the margins. Now we see the margins, profit margin, they are in decimal points. Some are in 5 decimal points, some 5, 6 decimal points, some 2 decimal points. When you come here, I want you to take note of this side. You see 0.0, 0.00, and the arrow continues to show in the right direction. This is increment. This is decrement. Okay, the 0.0, I will talk about something we call the hash and the 0. So I want us to look at something. 0 is mandatory. 0 says we want this reduced to this number of decimal points, and mandatory, even if it doesn't have any number there, it should still conform to this. So let's say if we have a number like 7, number like 3, 8 here, whatever we use this one for, right, it will affect the 7 and 8 also. So let's say we want to send these to 2 decimal places. Let's first select the range of cells, and then let's click on this. You see, it takes it to 3 decimal places. If we want to, just click here, it reduces it. Now you can see the 7 and 8 were not decimal, but because it's mandatory, it applied a 00 to the end. If you want to decrease it any further, you go and it decreases, you go, you know. So you can use this to be decreasing, this to be increasing to as many as you want. Now, that's it with the decimal increment and decrement. Let's go to percentage. Profit margin is usually percentage. We can be expressed as a fraction, but usually we like to see it in percentages. So in percentage, how do we do it? You just come up here and then you click percentage. Great, everything has gone to percentage. So the profit margin was 23%, 34.57, 63. You can still increase it if you want. but this time it's in percentage. Now the 7 and 8 give us 700%, 800%. This is a great business. Who wouldn't want it? Yeah, so let's go to another session of formatting numbers. Now we want to introduce the right separators or the right commas for these figures right here: 6 7 7 6 7 8 7 4 4 5 3 3. We want to introduce the right separators. How do we do it? Well, so what we will do, this is getting more interesting here. What we will do is we select, as usual, the range of cells, and then we go to format, come to number, and then go down to custom number format. Now, when it opens, you scroll through to see whether what you want to do can be found here. Yes, I can see it. We want it in thousands. If we want it with decimal points, it's right here. So you can see 1,234.56. If we don't want it with decimals, I am seeing this one right here. Hash, comma, hash, hash, 0, and then 1,235. So we don't want it with decimals. These are units. So units of items. We don't need any decimals. So let's click on this. Okay. Now I want us to look at the 0 and the hash. Someone will ask, why not 0,000 or hash, comma, hash, 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 right? I would explain that one. So when we click on this, it will take us to, let's see what happens. Yes, now we see our separators nicely introduced. So we have 6,777, 787, 44,000. So now we can see clearly, right? Now let's actually explain the difference between this hash and the 0. If you understand it, it makes that portion of, I see a number of people get scared or overwhelmed when they look at that session of formatting, but it's nothing scary. So let's say we want to understand what this hash symbol and the 0 symbol the 0 does. So the hash symbol is a placeholder for optional digits, adjusting the formatting based on the number of digits present, while the 0 digit is a placeholder for mandatory digits, always displaying a digit or 0 in the specified position. So that actually the choice between the hash and the 0 depends on whether you want to show optional digits or enforce the presence of specific digits, including zeros. So when you show the 0, it means it's mandatory, right? The position should be shown, and if it doesn't have a position, you should put a 0 there. That is why here, when we click on any of these, it will make it compulsory. Let's see again, like here we say 9, 9, 9, 5. Okay, if I select these two and I come here and I hit on this, it gives it a compulsory position of decimal place. It says 9.0. If you increase, 9.00. Okay, so assuming this was 6.9, this, okay, what will happen? It will reduce it to the exact mandatory position we give it. You see, it reduces it. Okay, it will make sure everything follows according to the command we give up here. So what's the difference between this and the hash? Let me use for example, a number like 3. I'm going to use a number like 3 right here. I hope you are following. 3. Okay, this is 3. Let's say we want to format 3 with a 0 or the hash. Okay, so we have selected this cell, or we have selected 3. We come to format, we go to number, we come to custom number format. Yes. Now, over here, we are going to make it 0, 00.00. So follow this one, 0, 0, okay, 0. So we want to do 0, 0, 0, okay. I want it this way, 0, 000 dot 00. This is like in thousands separator. Great. So when we apply to the number 3, let's see what we get. You see, it gives us 0,000 0,003.00. We don't know what number 0,000 is anyway. So compulsory, because it's mandatory, it will indicate a position. In if there is no figure there, it will put 0 there. That's all what it means. Now let's go to the hash, which is optional, and see number. Let's come here. Okay, now instead of 00, let's make it hash, and then here hash 0.00. We can leave the 0.00. If we leave 0.00, you know what will happen? There will be a compulsory 2 decimal points behind the figure, and it will be 2 zeros because we don't already have any decimal points there. If we had any decimal points there, it will bring 2 figures in that decimal point. But if we don't have any decimal points there, then it will compulsorily, or yeah, it will bring zeros. It's because it's mandatory, it will bring 2 zeros there. So let's see, hash, comma, hash dot 00. What do we get? Yes, you see, hash says it's optional. And when hash checked 3, hash realized 3 doesn't have any figures in front of it. And then it introduced the point. And then it says 0, 0. The 0, 0 then, because it's mandatory, will bring, what if we did only hash tags? Let's see, hash, format, number, custom number. Now let's take these zeros out, okay, and introduce hash, right? Hash says is optional. If it is there, it will provide. If it is not, it won't. 0 says it's mandatory. If it is there, it will provide the figures. If the figures are not there, it will provide 0. So let's see what hash will do. Hash is flexible. You see, that's it. So it doesn't have any figures, therefore hash will not bring any zeros whatsoever there. Great. So once again, let's try to introduce the separators for this figure here, 9500728. You select, and then you go to format, you go to number, and then you come here, custom number format. Now we want to turn it into its right thousands, right? Introducing the right separators. If we use this, we don't want to use this. We want it to be compulsory. So we want here hash. There should be a compulsory third figure, right? Dot 00. Here you can see it 1234.56. Mostly when we are doing these separators into thousands, we will be using this one. Take note of it. Hash, comma, hash 0. And if we don't want the decimal, look at what it gives us. It gives us 1234.56. If we don't want the 0.56, we just clean the 0.00 from it and we get 1235. So depending on what you are working with, if it requires decimals, you can introduce the point. If it's 3 decimals, 0.00000000, as many decimals as you want it to show up. If you don't want any decimal, you can just clean it and you have it standing this way. Apply. Great. Now we can see clearly. what it is, right? So just want to align. Yes, so we see 9,500,728, right? Now we have this table right here. We are going to introduce arrows for increase and decrease. We are going to change negative numbers to red. So this is a certain production that went on in 2019 and 2020 for a certain factory. So these are the items. 2019, these were the items. 2020, some of the items they could increase, some also they decreased in production. So you can see there was an increase here of 100, there was a decrease of 300, that is negative 300, 50, 50, 70, negative 100, 100, 50, negative 100, 50. This is difficult for the eyes, especially if you have a lot of data, right? So we want to use this custom number format to be able to spot the negatives easier. So before I actually get into the hash and zeros, I want us to do it in a very simple way for us to see. Let's say the changes, I copied this one, copy, let me paste it right here. Paste, okay. And then let me paste another one here. I want to do something. I want to show you how that engine actually works. Let's say right here, we want to change when it is 100, we want to say is good. When it is negative, we want to say is bad. All right, we want to use our own words. So we want to say increase, we want to say decrease, whichever words. Let's assume we want to say good, bad, or good, poor, whichever one we want to introduce. So we select the cells we want. We come to the format. We come to number. Then we go to custom number format. Now, when you come here, anything you would type first, the custom number format, like we started, the format is positive, negative, zero text. Anything I type here will go to positive. Okay, so if I type, let me type here, the positive, I want the positive numbers to say good. So I start with this. Okay, good. Let me type good, or let me type great to say we performed great. Watch something, because it is a text I am typing in, I put it in quotation marks. Okay. And the moment I introduce semicolon, it accepts that I have given a description for positive numbers. If it finds any positive number, I say it should write or great, not good. If I take off the semicolon, I mean, nothing is indicated. But the moment you bring the semicolon, the engine or spreadsheet understands that you are talking about any number that is positive. What about any number that is negative? Okay, that one I also say quotation marks. I say poor. Let me enter poor. And then you see it picks it as poor. Now let's say I want to have some colors in there. Okay. If you want to have color, you don't bring a semicolon. If you bring semicolon, it means you want to talk about zeros. In case it finds zero, what should it also say? So if you want to bring color, you just introduce a square bracket anywhere. Okay, but it must be after the semicolon, right? So you bring here, and I say, I want this one to be color red. I close it. And let's say the great ones, I can bring it here. I mean, the square brackets, I could have as well put it just in front of the poor. So here, let's say the great one, I also want it to be, let me bring it to the front. I want it to be blue. Okay. Yes. So if I click apply, you see it here. When it's 100, it's positive, so it says it's good. When it's negative 300, it's negative, so it says it's poor. Great, 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 negative 100, poor. Positive, blue, great, great. So this is just how it is. If you understand this one, it will be very easy when we are applying any how we want things to show up, right? Any formats. So let's just do this one. What we want to do with this one is that we want all the negatives to turn into red color, okay? And then we also want to introduce some arrows. So let's click here, go to format, number, come here. So what is the format we want? We want this kind of format. You can see some format here, right? We want this format, or we want a format which has the color. Don't be scared by this. All it's saying is that this is the format, hash, comma, hash, hash, 0. That means whatever figure is here, and then it brings an underscore because when we come to the negative, because of the brackets, okay, we want the 5 and 5 to be in line at any point. So you introduce, instead of brackets, we introduce an underscore, which is like a space for the 5. And then we say the color should be red. Remember, there is a semicolon right here. Okay, we want the color to be red, and then we want the number to follow. This is all what it is. When we click apply, you will see all the negatives turn into red. If you don't want the brackets, we can remove it. Okay, this is all what it is. So let's say we want to show arrow that says is increasing and arrow that says is decreasing. So the same thing, format, number, custom number format. We want it here. Okay, make sure it comes before the semicolon. That will mean we are working on the positive side. I don't know on your laptop where you can find special characters, right? So I have it here. I click on the globe button on my keyboard, and then every positive increases. So I want to choose this one. You see it right here at the positive side. And every negative, I hit on that key again, and then I want the decreasing sign. And because we have a color red here already, it will affect this color also. You see, great. Now we have it negative and we have it positive. Make sure you introduce your semicolon. Once you introduce your semicolon, you can decide to enter anything here. You can just decide to enter anything. You can decide to enter anything. You can even smile. You can say hi. The moment you put it in your quotation marks, you see hi will come after the before the semicolon. So it will come for the positive side. So we don't want it here. Okay. When I hit apply, it will come. If we had a 0, we would just introduce a semicolon, and then we say when you see 0, if it sees 0, what do we want it to type? You just put it in quotation marks and say, if you see 0, we want you to say no number or say NA. Okay, and then you make sure you put it in quotation marks. Okay, so in case our list there is a 0, it will show NA. Okay, another semicolon. You see texts. If we see texts, right, what should we enter? Bring your quotation and say no entry. No entry. Maybe we can say no entry. And then we close it, right? Now we have given the command how we want our entries to look like. Click apply, and then you see it right here nicely. So let's test this. If we type here 0, hit enter, you see NA comes. If we hit 0, enter, NA will come. Okay, what if we did not, it's not 0, but we want to enter a text, and we say by mistake, whoever was texting, text A, okay, it says no entry, or the person texts some, instead of texting 0.000 something something, it says no entry. Okay, so this is all what we have when it comes to change, when it comes to this formatting, right? Custom number formatting. This is all what we do. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Great. So congratulations for sitting through from beginning to the end. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting Google Sheets tutorials. And if you have any questions or you want to share your organized spreadsheets, leave a comment below and I'll be grateful. Thank you. See you in the next tutorials.